It is 6 in the AM. The chicken will not shut up. Your rations are gone. But you do get to put on the same fit you've been wearing for the past few months, right? In some way, shape, or form, that's what your morning would look like if you were an ARC raider. Like you're some guy, some girl that is brave and or dumb enough to go outside to this barren wasteland left of a planet that is completely lost to robots. Designed by somebody that really likes spiders too. Now the world is like this for a couple of reasons. I mean floods, giant scorching fires, earthquakes, and it nearly wiped everybody out, including your family. Everyone that's still on the planet at least. There are some valorous survivors that did manage to get on some rockets and get out, most likely like rich/intelligent folk, high society type of deal. And valorous just means brave. It's probably one of them that wrote this in the first place. But as for life before, the biggest indication is like the buried city. Since some of the buildings are above the sand, you can go inside, get a feel for what life was like beforehand. Now you're not elderly, but if you were, you would remember Sunrise. This is when humanity went back out after the collapse as to like re-civilize, re-establish their dominance over the lands. And it was going pretty good, to be honest, until the first wave hit. First wave of ARCs. ARC is the robots. And the reason they're called ARC in the first place is because when they come in from orbit, because these things just fly from space, they just land on Earth. When they're coming in, it looks like an arc on the radar. I was honestly expecting a much deeper meaning than that, but that's why they're called that. It works. And with the first wave of ARC came the first raiders, ARC raiders, see how that worked? So yeah, these raiders, they went out and fought the robots, and they're doing a pretty good job. Like up until when these things called Barons showed up, which was way more advanced than the first wave ARC. First wave ARC was very like rudimentary, not a big issue. Like obviously they're gonna take some casualties, but you know, they got through it pretty well. Barons wiping everything out. Had a big, huge battle to get rid of the last couple that were in their territory. So they did eventually win those first raiders, but it cost a lot of people. And because of those Barons showing up in the first place, forced a lot of people on the ground into what is generally called Toledo. Toledo is, think of it like an underground city, and it's got different neighborhoods that are split up. These neighborhoods don't particularly like each other. They just kind of tolerate each other enough to survive. Now you specifically, your neighborhood is called Speranza. What the others are called, I don't know. But yours is called Speranza. Nice little Star Wars colony looking thing that's going on. Probably safe. I mean, it's got to be the only place you have to go anyway, so you take what you can get. And so yeah, folk are in Speranza, they're in the different neighborhoods. Barons seem to be gone. It's going pretty well. Up until the second wave of ARC hit, way more advanced than the first. I mean, the first one's like they were doing damage, but not like the second wave. Like you got ticks, you got wasps, hornets, turrets, leapers, bastions, and the queen, which is like the bastion's very angry little sibling, and they don't like you. Because up until that point, there were still some people living topside being just not underground, just on the surface. But then they had to go underground too. So Toledo in general just overpopulated because everyone had to go underground as to not die by these ARC things. And yeah, that's your current situation. Back to your morning routine though. You got up, you got dressed. You were gonna eat, but like I said, your ration is gone. You do have some food growing though. The way they grow food, they have to use grow lamps, makeshift greenhouses. That's how they grow all their food. There is some sunlight, sometimes rain that comes through. Like they're not completely cut off from sunlight, so you do have that. And this is how Speranza in general lives. You got a leader, her name's Celeste. She was from the first wave, one of those first raiders. She doesn't particularly like you, but she tolerates you because you are very helpful. But yeah, this grow light, it's in your room. You somehow got a room in this overpopulated underground society. So congratulations on that. You got your grow light in there. You got a lot going on. You got all these workbenches. You can make weapons and grenades and bandages and shields and refined materials. You even have a chicken named Scrappy. And he be getting stuff for you. So, you know, take care of that chicken. You could even get him a hat if you want. Now, once you're ready to actually go out, you was at your benches making your weapons, bandages, and all that. You don't go straight out to topside to dangerous territory. You don't want to do that. You go to the backyard. It's not your backyard, but it's called that. A little safe space. ARC don't really bother people there for some reason. You can shoot your guns in peace. You can shoot at the fake ARC targets, or you can shoot at the fake human targets, because they have those for a reason. So now that you've gotten your aim right, now you're actually gonna go like into that hostile territory. And this is just a day-to-day thing, just going topside, getting resources, just getting from one day to the next, having no clue if it's gonna get better. Maybe you got a little bit of hope, but it does dwindle when you see Shawnee, who also low-key runs the place as Celeste does because she's over security of like everything. And you see how stressed she is. Like if the arc changed behavior a little bit, she's like tweaking out. That's a little concerning. So maybe you're not like the most upbeat in spirits, but you go out anyway. Now you get outside, you get topside, and you notice that these arc are pretty much everywhere. And they're not there for no reason at all. They are there to harvest resources and then shoot them off into space, which is where the conspiracy theory comes in, that those valorous survivors, that they're the ones that sent the ark to Earth because they ran out of resources. So they're just going to take it from Earth with them not there, since if we're down here surviving, being topside without dying to like toxic air or something like that, then the resources must be okay to use. So they came down to get them, or sent something down to come get them for them by absolutely any means necessary. Now how that leads to queens and barons, I don't know, but that's the means they allegedly took. Now on top of that, it's not just Ark that are out here, it's also other raiders who may or may not like you. They may just shoot you on sight. They may be friendly, they may act friendly and shoot you in the back. You never really know. Also, like the video, please and thank you. But you know all this, it's not your first day out here. You go on with your day, you start rummaging around, you maybe go to some place with a higher chance of better loot. Maybe you don't. You find your stuff, leave some stuff behind, maybe shoot a few people. It happens. And now you're on your way. Now when you want to go home, you got a few options. You could take a raider hatch. These are just like direct pipelines down the Speranza, built by raiders themselves actually, but you need a key. You didn't bring a key, so that's not an option. You're gonna take the elevator. Now these elevators are really loud. They got a whole alarm. They make a whole scene when you do activate them. So, you know, you want to check the area. You go about checking the area, see if there's any other raiders around that want to take your stuff. You do that and you go back, because if you don't, if you were to stay out thinking like, oh, I can just stay the night, people be raiding at night anyway, I might as well just stay. Don't do that. These things called arc orbiters, they come down and just like blow the whole spot up. You would die like 100%, so don't ever do that. But as seasoned that you are, you never do that. So you get back to Speranza, unload your bag, see what you got, see what you want to keep, what you want to throw away, whatever it is. And because of this I'm invincible mindset you have, you decide to go out again later that night during an electromagnetic storm. Oh, that scared everything out of me. Oh my gosh. I was like, what is that noise? Because it's the apocalypse. So, you know, of course, this is a thing that you're fully aware of. Allegedly, way better loot, a lot higher risk, but also less ways back. With all these things in mind, you decide to ball regardless. You go out and you come back with like a crazy amount of stuff. Weapons, crafting materials, I mean, augments, which are basically backpacks, all of that. You even got a toaster. So, you know, you're pretty happy about that. Hard day's work. Your reward for all of that is you're not dead. Because you got to go out tomorrow and risk it all over again. And you're just going to keep doing this over and over. And it can sound like the light at the end of the tunnel really isn't there, but there is one thing. You do have a project going on, a caravan to take you just beyond the Rust Belt. Rust Belt is like the area that you're currently in that contains like damn battlegrounds, spaceport, all that. And yeah, you're slowly putting resources towards this. Will it work out better for your life? You have absolutely no clue. But again, the risk might be worth the reward. So it's kind of something you're working on the side, while also still doing the daily thing of surviving, getting food, materials, all of that. And you still have a room, which again, very overpopulated. Congratulations. Now, when you take this magical caravan, are you going to find out where the ark came from? Who sent them? Was it the valorous survivors? I don't know any of that. But what I do know is you should subscribe to the channel. You're already here. You watched this many minutes. So yeah, leave a like in the video too. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.